Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. I have a very big announcement about this show that you do not want to miss. But first,
no water, barely got food, everything expiring in the fridge.
Being without power is not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is not having drinkable water.
Right now, everything is just devastating. It's eye-opening. I talked to one of my close childhood friends yesterday, and her house is completely destroyed. And we're just thankful we can get here to get diapers and formula and a hot meal, because right now those are very important to us because the stores don't have them.
At least 230 people have lost their lives across 6 states from Hurricane Helene. There are 1.8 million total power outages. Buncombe County, North Carolina alone, where Asheville is, makes up 31% of the total deaths. And there are at least 200 people still unaccounted for. Now, families, as you heard, are continuing to struggle to get basic necessities. And that means that private citizens, in the absence of federal government relief, they have to provide relief. And this is all despite assurances from the Biden-Harris administration that the government would have hurricane season completely covered.
FEMA is tremendously prepared. This is what we do. This is what they do. And the key here, Rebecca, is also to make sure that the communities who are potentially impacted are prepared as well.
Can you believe anything that man says about anything? Look, like there are lies about COVID, inflation, Afghanistan, the consequences have been devastating.
We just feel like we're being forgotten. We haven't received any response from FEMA.
We're not getting the amount of support that we need.
We haven't seen FEMA. We haven't seen Red Cross. We haven't seen Hearts with Hands. We've seen no agencies come through here. Most people drive through with their cameras out, filming us like we're animals in a zoo.
It's too late. I mean, they took too long. They keep saying we the people. No, there is no we the people. It's them versus us.
That's how it feels to many Americans tonight. But rest assured, Kamala is on her way to North Carolina for what will be another photo op disguised as real leadership. Now, this is a pattern that we've seen play out in crisis after crisis under the Biden-Harris administration. First, they falsely reassure us that they're prepared. Then, when disaster strikes, we, the people, discover the true story, the neglect. Resources wasted on their left-wing causes like DEI or illegal immigrants, money that should have gone to help American people in need. Yeah, save it for a rainy day. Then the cover-up comes. They politicize the tragedy by pretending they've done everything possible to alleviate the suffering, while their media allies shift the blame onto the man who hasn't been in office for 4 years, Donald Trump. And then right on cue, here's Politico, claiming Trump is the man who made the disaster response himself political. But in reality, Trump is showing all of us what real leadership looks like during a natural disaster. Today, he was in Georgia again, this time alongside Governor Kemp.
I want to thank President Trump for coming back to our state again for the second time to view storm damage and keep a national focus on our state as we recover.
I'm not thinking about voters right now. I'm thinking about lives. And to be honest, it's much bigger than anything else. But we're thinking about lives, a lot of lives lost, a lot of people missing. And that's what I'd be focused on right now.
A statesman. Yeah, you saw it. And while Biden and Harris have been patting themselves on the back for how they've handled this disaster, Trump is giving credit where it's actually due.
I want to thank Elon Musk, by the way, for his quick action with Starlink. He supplied a lot of equipment to the governor, to Georgia and to North Carolina in particular, and he acted very, very quickly. They needed communication. There was no communication. The poles are down, the wires are down. And he acted really, really quickly.
Of course, Kamala and Joe, were they going to call up Elon Musk, the man that they've been setting upon for these past few years, thank him for the work that he's doing? No. Yeah, what they are doing, though, is throwing up obstacles to his assistance. Musk says he received a note from a SpaceX engineer that said that the big issue is that FEMA is actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services locally and then locking them away to state that, well, they're their own. It's very real and scary how much they've taken control to help stop people helping. We're blocked now in the shipments of new Starlinks coming in until we can get an escort from the fire department, but that may not be enough. Now, the only way to stop this pattern that I just laid out, the pattern of neglect, lies, cover-ups, from having this repeat again and again, is to kick Kamala out of the White House. Otherwise, it's going to be another 4 years of needless and infuriating American suffering.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.